Hi, this is Mike Keith, voice of the Tennessee Titans, and you're listening to the One Lane Road podcast with Lucas and DK. Go Titans.
Man, I am so excited to have the voice of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Keith, bring us into our second episode. I'm your co-host, Dustin Kennedy, and now I turn it over to my partner, Lucas Hickman.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 2 of the One Lane Road podcast. This is Lucas Hickman and my co-host Dustin Kennedy sitting right here beside of me.
What's up, Lucas?
Man, first one's down, first one's in the books.
Yeah, first one's down, our first time.
First time down.
And I just want to do it again.
All the
I'm
time.
so excited, I just want to do it all the time now. Like
all the
podcast.
time.
All I can think about is podcast now.
All the time, I just want to do it all the time.
But we're married, so
Yeah,
being a married man, I mean, just
Maybe once a month.
I was hoping once a week.
Once a week,
Let's do
maybe.
Once,
I don't know.
Once a week.
We'll try it once a week.
Be nice.
Yeah. So, man, the first one in the books, I mean, our social media's up now. We've got the YouTube page up. We're on iTunes, and
It's pretty exciting, man, because I think after our first one, we didn't really know. We felt good about it, but you never know what kind of
response people are going to give to you.
But our Twitter has, I wouldn't say we've gained a lot of followers yet. Our Instagram and our Twitter, our Facebook, we've got several likes. I think it was closer to like 300 likes on the first day or something like that over the first couple of days. And you can find that just on Facebook, One Lane Road Podcast. You just type that in, or it can be linked from my page, I'm sure, also. And
that's where it is on YouTube. That's what it is on iTunes. I'm sure Twitter and Instagram's all the same thing. Just go out there, grab it. What surprised me was, I'm in the Apple world, pretty hard. So I didn't realize that everybody doesn't do iTunes. Everybody doesn't do podcasts.
Jace was the first one. Your cousin Jace is like,
Yeah.
You got to have droid. I don't think he spelled droid right. But just kidding, Jace.
Yeah, but we got that YouTube account up finally, and man, it kind of eclipsed the podcast pretty quick, the iTunes version.
Yeah, it's just easier, it looks like, from our pages just to click on the YouTube. And like I said, a lot of people don't have iPhones, and it was kind of cool just kind of watch our YouTube, our iTunes hits and YouTube. Like I said, it didn't take off huge, but I mean, I'm thinking probably at least 300 people have listened to it so far. So,
yeah, and I appreciate everybody that's listening to it, but man, I was nervous. God, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And you can really see my nerves too. I repeated, right. I wouldn't quit.
I think you're a lot safer saying than repeating anything I say.
Well, maybe. You know what? I sure didn't have a lot of unique things to say either. I just kept following what you were saying.
Well, that'll come, and that's what I keep telling everybody, that we'll only get better. But I know it's just a wonder I hadn't been edited so far. I mean, we just got one show, and I hadn't had to be edited too hard, and I really have to watch what I say, because anybody knows me knows.
Yeah,
it's always subject to drop one.
Generally, I got a potty mouth, but I think we're doing pretty good so far.
Well, that's one thing that we kind of made a conscious effort, because we both kind of will drop one every.
Oh yeah, I'm subject to drop one all the time.
But I feel like the audience that we're trying to gain, we're not here to get famous, and we're not here to do anything. We're not trying to throw shock value at you.
We're just trying to make our little community proud, I think,
Yeah, I've done enough to make myself.
Yeah.
But that is true. I mean, because it's kind of cool when you hear people that text you, that like random people that you wouldn't expect to hear from, and they kind of give high praise of the show. And
yeah, and that really made the after a lot better, because like I was saying, during the show I had a lot of nerves and I didn't know how it was going to go, and afterwards, it took so long to get it onto iTunes and everywhere and get it out there.
Yeah.
And so it just, that gap in between was too much,
Yeah, we waited, and like I said, I kept hyping all the pages. I kept hyping it up, and I was thinking, man, what if I hype it up so far and our expectations get so high
that we can't do it?
And everybody's like, man, this sucks. And maybe people, I'm sure there's somebody out there be like, why do I care about what Dustin Kennedy and Lucas Hickman talking about? And they may not.
And they may not. And I don't care.
But like I said, we got 300 views or listens or whatever, and it was kind of cool to hear from people. You hear from your friends who. You wonder whether, they're just telling you that because they're friends, but it's kind of cool to hear some of the people that I didn't expect to hear from.
Yeah, some of the people that I hadn't talked to in, years probably, since I was in high school, and coming out and posting on Facebook that they liked it and stuff. I thought, well, that was cool. So, he's not lying to me. You think, you hope anyway.
The way I look at it, I don't expect anybody to lie to me, and I'm not going to lie to you unless you're going to pay my house payment.
Yeah.
If you're going to pay my house payment, I'll lie to you all day.
Whatever you want to be, that's what you are.
But I just, it made us, it got us more excited for episode 2 for sure. Mm-hmm. Like I said, and we're genuine. And a lot that's what a lot of people said. They could tell the feedback back and forth from me and you.
Right.
And that's just a thing of, it's not forced because we are real friends. We've been friends
for years and years and years.
There was like one year I didn't like you when we were like 10.
Yeah, but that was because you was just such a jerk.
I'm still a jerk, so I don't really know. I guess you just evolved into a jerk too. And
we're finally both there.
We were spoiled brats, and basically, but you've been built like a man since you were 13, so I wouldn't go mess with you.
But I just can't.
You're a prick.
But if I could grow a beard one of these days like you got, I've got the same sideburns. I've got the same sideburns I had when I was 13. I ain't shaved them once yet.
Well, my left side of my beard is sexy. Mm-hmm. Like it is. That
right side.
That right side looks like Joe Dirt with the mange.
Little patchy.
Yeah, it's bad. And everybody made fun of me this week because I shaved and I'm like the worst trimmer ever.
I am too. I shaved mine off this week too, and it looks awful.
You know what a man with double chin shouldn't have? A clean shaven face. Pisses me off, and I can't wear anything else. Like I can't wear a goatee. Mm-hmm. I'm not creepy enough yet to have a mustache. I'm not old enough.
You're a little creepy, but
so it's just
man. You want to give a shout out to some of these people who gave us some good comments for sure, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said,
I seen like Dustin Halliburton out there talking good about us, and
and I literally hadn't talked to Dustin Halliburton.
He was the one I was talking about. I hadn't seen him since high school, probably.
I still hadn't seen him. It's been several years, but it was cool that he come across and really reached out there and made a point. Mm-hmm. Like I said, nobody has to say anything.
Right. Matt Tuck dropped some nice stuff on Facebook for us.
He said, I don't have his comment here, but basically he said, basically two good old boys, just finally talking about some stuff that I want to hear. And I love Matt Tuck. He's just. Is that not the nicest dude?
Oh gosh, I mean, probably, and pretty. God, he's pretty.
He is.
He is. He's so nice and he's so humble, and so he's.
Matt Tuck was Metro before Metro was cool.
Yeah,
I don't know that it was ever cool, but Matt Tuck made it cool. I tell you that much. And you don't ever question my sexuality.
I do, but
I'm just saying, like. You don't question it, and if you do, I'm gonna
slap you.
Throw this drink on you. Yeah. But like Matt Tuck's so pretty. Like if he was a singer and I was a female, I'd throw my panties on stage.
Oh, all the time. I bet he's wrestling. When he's wrestling, I bet they happen all the time.
I wish he still wrestled. He was the California kid. He said long, blonde, flowing locks.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, sexual icon.
And who else was out there?
I tell you, one surprised me. It was pretty cool to hear from him. It was Matt Walker.
Yeah,
who I really admire what he done. Actually, congratulations is due. He's the new high school girls coach at Clay County.
Oh, cool.
So, and I have to brag on him because he really is the first one in years that put an effort into Hermitage Springs basketball. Mm-hmm. He really just turned that program, and he's working with those kids, and he took them to tournaments, and I just thought he did an awesome job. And I don't know if I've ever told him that, but now I'm telling him.
Yeah. Congratulations and thanks, man.
Yeah, he said it. Well, it was pretty funny. His first line was, "You're a better podcaster than you are referee," and that's absolutely true.
Right?
Because I like to run my mouth a lot better than I like to. First off, run down the court, and I don't really like to make people mad, so I'm not a very good referee, and that's why I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, just tell the kids, hey, don't do that next time. I'm not going to call a foul on you.
I was a terrible referee, but. Matt, it was kind of cool for him to reach out, and he said that he really liked the small town feel of what we're doing. And like I said, when you name your show the One Lane Road Podcast,
you're going for a small town feel.
Yeah, and we had Front Porch Podcast originally, so that is what we're doing.
Yeah, we kind of knew what our who was going to be listening, demographic was going to be, and that's kind of what we wanted. If it turns into something else later on, then so be it. But for right now, that's where we wanted to start at. And
the last thing we want to do is. Not acknowledge where we come from because we're very proud of our roots, and and both we've both lived off in Cookeville, and I go to the bigger cities a lot, and still I want to be on that farm in North Springs.
That's
you
right.
want to be here in your grandfather's house in Hermitage Springs, and it means a lot. And I actually got to mention someone else, my little cousin Andrew Meadows.
Yeah.
He's always messing with me about something. Always got something to say to me. And he's like, "You lied on your first podcast."
What did we lie about?
You probably have.
Right.
I ad-lib about one every 3 stories anyway.
Right.
He said the part about you hating Salina. You said you didn't hate Salina.
Oh yeah.
I said no, I don't hate Salina.
Yeah, who hates Salina? Why would we hate? What was his goal?
He said I'm giving him I always give him a hard time about.
Oh yeah. I give you a hard time too.
Well, it's just I don't. Of course, I just bullshit a lot about it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
about whatever. Right?
I'm just So obviously, I'm sure I have given him a hard time.
Yeah.
Well, part of that being I was help coach basketball team at Jackson County this year.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, my address is Jackson County.
Right.
And my kid goes to school at Jackson County, so obviously I can't just be all pro Salina.
Right.
Because we're Hermitage Springs boys, so why do I got to love Salina? And
yeah, that's right.
Let's be honest. When they had the consolidation, like I said, I'm not upset. And I thought if it happened 10 years ago, we would have had some really good basketball teams 15, 20 years ago.
Oh man, yeah. I wouldn't have made the team, but we'd have had some great teams.
I'd have been a hell of a statistician.
Yeah, I'd have been over there keeping statistics on the bench, man.
So I do think those. I mean, not to get into that too much, but I think I don't know if there'd been enough balls to go around with Matt Barlow and AJ. They both. I mean, just being point guards, they're both really good point guards.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you, those teams. We kind of got off subject here, but if we'd have had shout out to my boy Dusty Smith.
Oh yeah, big Dust.
If we'd have had like post players like him and Chris Bartlett,
yeah,
man, to go with Jeremy and AJ and Brad.
Well, not only that, them two and Brent too. I mean, having Brent out there with some actual other players on the team besides us.
Yeah, Brent was just a little bit later on, so I didn't mention him. Obviously, I would have mentioned him, but no, I just thought the only thing I joke around about that, obviously, being from Jackson County.
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy watching that team. I just always thought when the consolidation happened, you kept the Bulldogs name and you kept all that. Mm-hmm. Couldn't you not throw a little more purple in there?
Just a little purple.
Purple's
pretty.
A pretty color. But no, I'm okay with it. I actually rooted for Clay County a lot this year. And they had some Hermitage Springs kids. You watch some of these kids grow up, and Dawson Russell from being friends with William and growing up with Bridget. I liked watching Dawson and the Browning boy. I've known him since he was little, and same with I had a cousin, the Copus kid, and of course Tyreek, like we mentioned last week. So Andrew, shut up. I do love Salina.
Shut up. We love Salina. Yeah,
I've got several friends, Dust and Sunshine and Trey and Thompson, all them boys. And I don't want to leave anybody out, but Key Daddy. Mm-hmm. So I do have friends over there, and it's just like I said, shut up. We're all happy family.
We're all a big happy family. So let's throw back to something we talked about in episode 1. Let's talk about the draft for a minute.
Well, I mean, before we get into that, I think we kind of overlooked something. Let's talk about we're looking for some local musicians.
Oh yeah,
anybody that we know to maybe get us a little musical intro into our show.
Yeah, we're just using GarageBand here. We're on an iMac. We're kind of technologically challenged, but somebody that could help us out with a little bit of an intro here. I'm not musical by any stretch of the imagination.
No, we looked into like some of our favorite songs. We looked into putting like maybe we're both Shooter fans and
trying to get Electric Rodeo or something on here, but it's not really feasible for what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I think that's something you have to pay for.
Yeah, it's for sure something you have to pay for, and I don't think it's cheap either.
So if there is anybody that listens to this show and has an idea of something we can do, because we're trying to get
trying to get some kind of a cool intro to play us
something to get you pumped up to listen to us.
Yeah, something something original, obviously something original, and something you'll license to us or just let us have or whatever, because this is all free anyway. So we're trying to do it on the cheap.
Hey, we got kind of a cool intro.
Oh man, that was awesome. Who did that? You or Lindsay? What was that?
Oh, Lindsay wasn't. No, she recorded it though.
Where was y'all at?
The Titans caravan came through to Cookeville yesterday.
Yeah,
and we stopped by. Waylon's favorite player, Jarrell Casey, was on the caravan, so we went over there and checked those guys out. Mm-hmm. And I just was thinking, and I was already thinking it up early in the morning.
Yeah,
I thought, man, it'd be really cool if Mike Keith, because he travels with him on the caravan. Mike Keith's got the best voice.
Oh man, God, he was smooth
of an announcer. I'll tell you what, sometimes if it didn't coincide, like there's a little delay sometimes, I would literally sit in my house and turn down the television broadcast just to listen to Mike Keith on the radio. He gets you so fired up for the game.
It made me feel bad about my voice. I've got a face for radio and a voice for hand modeling. I'm not compared to that guy for sure.
He's smooth, man. He's just even in 2 and 3 win seasons, he brings excitement. It doesn't matter if we're down 40-7 in a game, and when somebody gets a sack for the Titans, he still makes you feel like, man, he loves his job and he's got the good voice for it. So I was just, while we were in line before the players come off the bus, I grabbed him. He was doing some kind of interview, and I grabbed him and I said, Mike, would you care to give a little shout out for something? I said, or actually a little favor. I said a friend of mine and I have started just a small town podcast. We're covering just oddball stuff, but a lot of sports. And I said, would you care to give us a little plug, like a 15-second plug? He goes, yeah, absolutely. So I told him what to say. He goes, well, now I'm gonna have to memorize that. And he said it 2 or 3 times back. And I posted to all of our social media yesterday, and he got a pretty good reaction.
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
I think it's cool. It's just like I said. It just, like I said, we're going to start airing it. We're going to try to start. Hopefully, we air it.
Yeah, hopefully it's on this one.
Hopefully it's on. Hopefully you guys heard that.
Yeah, hopefully you guys already heard it already.
Come on, it's something we're going to work with. But
yeah,
it was kind of cool that the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, give us a shout out, and
well, that's awesome.
Didn't care to do it.
Well, speaking of Titans, let's talk about the draft for a few minutes. Obviously, he didn't go to the Titans, but boy, Jeremy Tunsil really knocked himself out of a few spots, didn't he?
And so did Laramie Tunsil.
Who did I say?
Jeremy Tunsil.
Oh, I meant Laramie. I looked down and seen Jeremy somewhere, and next thing I knew, I said it. But anyway, he knocked himself out of a few spots. He fell from like 6th to 13th, probably.
Yeah, he was, like we said last week, he was projected at number 1 before the trades that we talked about last week. And the first spot that you really thought he might have landed was 6 until the tweet happened.
Oh, my God. From his own account.
Man, I'll tell you, I was watching it from home, and I was keeping up with Twitter.
Yeah.
Pretty active on Twitter anyway, and especially when something like the draft's going on. And
gas mask bong video.
Yeah, boy, and and I'm not going to be naive, and you're not naive, and nobody is to think that's the only guy smoking weed that's in the draft.
Obviously, he's not the only one.
I mean,
he's the only one who had a video pop up on his account whilst he's sitting at the table in the draft.
Oh, boy. And, like I said, 90%, I don't want to know a percentage, but like there probably wouldn't be NFL teams if they actually really drug tested hard, because they're all. So, I mean, I'm not going to come hard on a guy that's 22 years old smoking weed, but goodness gracious, in this day and age, you've got to be more aware, especially, I mean, like.
And change your password, son.
Yeah, somebody obviously hacked his account. That's what somebody hacked his account. That was out to get him. But if you're prospected to be a number 1 overall pick, you've had this talent for several years.
Yeah.
You've got to be more self-aware.
Slap them phones out of people's hands when you're doing stuff like that.
Oh, my goodness. I've never had a gas mask bong in my face, but if you try to record it.
Oh, it's done. Your phone is in the toilet,
I just thought it was, and boy, there was no hiding it. He removed the mask, son. He was higher than Draft's ass. Come on, his eyes were.
They say it's his stepdad did it too.
Somebody said his stepdad, and somebody also
allegedly
said his personal. I just heard this week he fired his personal assistant leading up to the draft.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, you've got to be smarter than that.
How does a college kid have a personal assistant?
I guess. I mean,
you just be that good at football.
Apparently, his college paid for it because they paid for his mama's electric bill and everything else.
Oh, I seen that come out too. He didn't even try to deny that, did he?
He admitted to it on national television. I'm sure the athletic director and the coach was ready to just.
Yeah, but say he can't get in trouble for that, but his school probably can, right?
Oh man, they're probably on violation. But I mean, Ole Miss has never been a big program anyway, and all of a sudden they had 3 first-round picks this year that come out. You don't go from a small school overnight having 3 first-round picks in the draft unless you're paying for electric bills and cars, and
you got to get that talent there somehow.
Well, right? It happens at probably every program.
So, how did the Titans wind up? They got Jake Conklin, I saw.
Yeah, Jack Conklin. He was a lineman out of Michigan State, and what happened? Because they had traded back from losing the first pick, they went back to 15. But they traded back up at 8 to get him, and a lot of people were saying that's who they wanted along. And I've seen several people fussing online that they should have just went ahead and grabbed Tunsil. But do you really want a guy that like? I mean,
that's a lot of press already.
It's a lot of baggage, and really, we already got a left tackle and Taylor Lewan, and you were going to have to risk the fact that Taylor could be moved to right tackle, and that's probably not as simple as it sounds, just moving positions when he's never played that. But a lot of people wanted him. He's like, well, we wanted him at 1, but maybe along the whole time, our general manager of the Titans wanted Conklin, and he was there. And like I said, he doesn't come with a baggage, and something the Titans have had over the years is players with character issues. And a few years ago, it's been several years since we've had a really bad character, but living through Pac-Man Jones and Vince Young and even Kenny Britt. I loved Kenny Britt personally, but he had a lot of character issues when it comes to stuff like that. So
we called Derrick Henry too, didn't we?
Man, that's another pick that's kind of took a lot of flack from media and even people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. But it's not.
But
like,
I mean, anybody out of Alabama's got to be good. I mean, you don't win national championships with bad players.
Well, and he's a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
From last year, so he's got talent. And the question is, I mean, some of the Alabama running backs in the last couple of years, Trent Richardson especially, has not lived up. I mean, he's had a horrible career. But I just think that it's not like they took him 8th overall.
Right.
They didn't take him. They had 3 second-round picks, and they addressed a lot of their needs with the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he's sitting there at pick, 45. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. He's built like a freaking tank.
Yeah, just running over people.
Yeah, and what confused people was we traded for DeMarco Murray, who was the leading rusher in Dallas 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of confused people. They're kind of the same style back. They're about the same, well, Henry's massive. I mean, like I said, he's just massive. But it confused people why we would trade for Murray and then draft Henry. What a lot of people don't realize is,
You get deep in them spots too, though.
Well, and the running backs we had weren't very good last year.
Right.
And maybe it did have to deal with the offensive line, which was improved in the draft. But, DeMarco Murray's 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas run the hell out of him, And,
Right.
But so did
Legs
Alabama.
getting a little old.
Yeah, I mean, there's never – people want to look at it this year.
Mm-hmm. What's down the road?
The draft is for 2, 3, 4 years. And, I get it being a Titans fan. I mean, it's getting old.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a new regime. You got to be patient. You got to look at what John Robinson's doing and hoping he knows the plan. He was in New England for 12 years, so
They took a boy from MTSU too, didn't they?
yeah.
What's his name? Bird or something?
Kevin Bird. He's a safety from MTSU, and I don't watch a lot of MTSU obviously, but
that was nice to have kind of a local guy and go to Titans,
Yeah, like we talked about last week, Jalen Ramsey was the local guy everybody wanted because he's from Brentwood and out of Florida State. But Bird that's a name you heard more and more as the draft went on, and there was more talk. I read, keeping up all the Titan stuff, you hear about it, and it was just a popular name coming up, and they took him in the 3rd round, and I've read nothing but positive. Ball hawk is what I keep hearing. He's just got a sense for the ball where it's at. He gets there quick. So, and you always root for, guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall the Titans had a good draft. We'll find out what happens with Henry. Like I said, he's better. He's an upgrade either way over the running backs that would have been backing up Murray.
Right.
I think it's a hell of a 1-2 punch when you got 2 guys that are. I mean, Murray's a big boy and Henry's 6'2", 6'3", 240, 250. I mean, there's a lot of defenses that are bad boys in the NFL that might think they can hang with him for a quarter or 2.
Yeah, but they ain't going to do it in 3rd and 4th all day long. That's old all day long.
I don't want to stand in front of a guy like
getting smashed by that all day long.
That's like, I mean, you're 6'3".
Yeah, well, I'm 6'2".
6'2".
Yeah, thanks for 6'3", though.
Well, your head stretches up a little bit.
Well, it just is what it is.
So, and I don't want to stand in front of you, and this guy's just massive.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, that's awesome.
Always optimism. Your boy Manziel's hanging out at a bar, though.
Oh, yeah. We talked about throwing talent away. Boy, there he was. He was sitting, some boy that was sitting beside of him clipped his picture. Bam.
You gotta love the world we live in. Of course, I'm guilty as anybody playing with social media, but he was sitting there just
watching the draft, sitting at a bar,
hanging out by himself with his bandana. Looked like he just got back from Coachella, which he was at.
Yeah, and then he started talking trash to the boy that clipped his picture.
Manziel just trying to hang out. I didn't see a beer bottle next to him. Probably just some loaded nachos hanging out.
Yeah.
Probably he knew the guy that owned the bar, and this guy takes his picture and is like, this is what, you had your name called 2 years ago. Now you're sitting in a bar. And poor old Manziel, like I said, just sitting by himself. Lost his stripper. He didn't even have the stripper I was talking about last week. Probably had his booger sugar still, but in his pocket. But he...
but you got to have a little bit more common sense than that. Don't go, putting somebody on blast as a pro athlete.
Yeah, especially I'm sure Manziel keeps up with the social media being a young gun guy.
Well, I mean, what is he, 22?
24 probably, 23. And the guy, snaps a picture of him. Manziel called him out. He's like, "Why don't you just come talk to me in my face, you pussy?" And, I can see both ways. The dude thought he was being cute, taking a picture, but Manziel shot it right back to him. But they're both not going to be working in the NFL this year. So,
kind of the big news in Nashville right now is the Predators. Boy, they went into an awesome game the other night. Won it in triple overtime, won 4-3.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can't sit here and lie that I'm a big Preds fan. I know you keep up with them a little bit.
Yeah, I like the Preds, man. If you ever go to I've been to a couple Preds games now, and it's the most exciting game I've ever been to. I didn't realize how exciting one of those games was, but man, Mike Fisher, Mr. Kerry Underwood himself, slapped a goal in triple overtime the day, win 4-3. So we beat the we beat the San Jose Sharks.
That was to tie the series, right?
That's right. That was 2-2. So they're going to San Jose, and they're actually playing Saturday. This is Saturday, so they're playing tonight. And I've never really got into hockey, and it's just because I don't understand it. It's one of those things I always wish the Grizzlies would have came to Nashville instead of Memphis. Right.
And I've always supported the Titans. And I don't think the Nashville community really appreciated the Preds when we first got them because they weren't, as good. And
well, not only that, it's an ice sport too. I mean, Tennessee's not known for ice sports.
Nobody got it. It was a nice novelty. Take your friends and go to a hockey game.
Yeah.
But with anything, when they get better,
the better you get, more people come to it. You know, and we beat the Anaheim Ducks this year already. We in the first round. Got a good shot at beating San Jose Sharks in the second round. Yeah,
just watching the atmosphere, and I thought it's very I don't know what the word is, but just seeing how Nashville's pulling together. You had Mariota there the other night. You had Avery Williamson. Several Titans have been, like Malarkey, the coach Malarkey, and John Robinson were there. It's kind of cool seeing the Titans come out and support the Predators. And, it's just very...
Well, really, Nashville. It's huge for around here, but it's really not that big, So
it's growing.
It's growing. It's trying to grow, but having the community come together, that Nashville community, even though it's bigger like that, having that come together, that's awesome, And trying to push all these professional sports up higher. And
I think it's just awesome for the city, and I'm sure Broadway. Everybody knows I'm a fool for Broadway. I'd love to have been down there, especially back in my good old days. I'd love to have been on Broadway that night because, good God, when it finally was over, I'm sure Tootsie's was having a party at Legends Corner, and everybody was having a party on Broadway. And how bad must it suck to be Mike Fisher? You're a hero, and you get to go home to Carrie Underwood.
Yeah. I hate that guy.
That might be the sexiest legs.
Oh yeah, Mike Fisher got some nice legs.
Wow.
That's a joke.
I don't even know where to go with that.
That's a joke, people. Yeah, Carrie Underwood's awesome, but having that, being in Nashville.
I can't even. I'm looking at Mike Fisher. I'm picturing his legs right now.
Being in Nashville, no matter how big you get as Mike Fisher, you make this goal, you're never going to be as big as your wife at that point in time.
Yeah. Well.
But that's awesome. I'm proud for my Predators. I love going to those games. If you ever get an opportunity, to go down there, hit it up.
The one time I went, this guy, older man behind me, he's like, "Hey, can you explain to me what just happened?" I said, "Brother, I don't know what in the hell just happened. I have no idea. I was about to turn around and ask you because I don't have a clue." I said, let's have a beer though.
Yeah, awesome. I seen something interesting on you the other day. I seen your picture with you and Big Shaq.
Big Shaq. That was something I've wanted to do since 1993. That was my number one. I've met a lot of athletes, celebrities over the years, and I would about trade any of them for
I've seen
Shaq.
Pictures and posters of Shaq in your house and your bedroom for years and years and years.
Yeah, Lindsay finally made me take those down. We got married. Apparently a 16 by 20 of Shaq crying after his first championship is not living room material.
Yeah, 22, 23 years?
Yeah, since I was 9 years old, man. I've had the Magic jerseys, Laker jerseys.
Yeah, man.
It was a bucket list opportunity for me, and we had to go to Atlanta to do it. But
did you go to Atlanta specifically for that?
Yeah. I don't.
That's all right.
I don't even care if anybody judges me. Yes, that is my favorite athlete of all time, and
I bet he's awesome too, isn't he?
Man, he was so cool, and you always kind of worry about stuff like that. Shooter had a song on Electric Rodeo. I can't remember the name of the song, but a line out of it says, "Your heroes turn out to be assholes."
That's what I was afraid of. Everybody says that if you're going to go meet your heroes, don't do it. Just don't do it. They're not going to be awesome like you think they are.
No, and I've met several people that I'm fond of, and I've never really had a bad experience meeting anybody. Yeah. Everybody's generally pretty cool. And that was the one I was worried about. But just seeing his persona over the years and some of the cool things he does off camera.
Yeah.
For years, a lot of people don't know it. When he was out in L.A., he would take a semi-truck to Toys R Us right before Christmas and fill the semi-truck full of toys for underprivileged kids.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And things like that, you just really resonates in you, and you kind of, obviously on the court, he was just a bad
dude, yeah.
Shut your mouth, but
he's so big, too. I knew he was big, but, man, I seen a picture of him he was sitting down, and your wife walked up beside him with your baby, and he was bigger than your wife sitting down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, God knows she's not exactly model height or anything going on. She's
Right.
about 5'1", but it was cool. And what was of course, all my friends were thinking, all my friends think they're comedians. Like, well, did Shaq let you touch it? I was expecting that.
Yeah,
but
right.
whatever. But yeah, what was cool about it is the staff at Barnes & Noble. It was a book signing. He was doing children's book signing, right?
Oh, Shaq did a children's book.
Yeah, because obviously, he's so smart.
Well,
No, but it was he did it, and then that's what we were there for. And that Barnes & Noble said he was not going to take pictures with you. He's not going to do autographs. And he ended up taking selfies with like everybody in the line. He signed stuff that you weren't supposed to sign.
Right.
And you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's just it's just showing how good of a guy he is. And we took a picture with him and everything, and Waylon was just tickled to death. Sometimes I wonder if Waylon realizes how lucky he gets meeting all these people.
Because you're going out there to meet everybody.
Right.
He don't know that everybody else don't do that.
Right. It's just I guess he's been spoiled as far as that, but that was probably the first time I've ever been like starstruck. I remember the first time I met Eddie George, I was kind of nervous because Eddie's probably my favorite football player. But these other guys, it's easy to talk to some of these people. But man, like I said, I'm not even scared to admit this. When I was trying to take a picture of Shaq, my hand was shaking. I mean, you've waited your whole life to meet this guy. And
you braved Atlanta traffic to go down there and see him too.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. At one point, Lindsay, who, her driving, and I give her all the credit in the world, man. She drove it because I drive to Chattanooga, and I start thinking, I pull off. First Mapco, I see, it's your turn.
Yeah, get over here.
I can't drive in that stuff. She's crazy enough; she can drive in it. She's like, she'll like 85 and swerving dude's lane. Then cuss him out for blowing the horn at her, So, but I can ride with her there. Yeah. But man, we get in Brimstone or a 1-lane road, pun intended, very much. Can't drive for shit. She's ditch line to ditch line. Going. She tries to drive like 35 on a.
On one of them gravel roads, Brimstone.
Yeah, and Brad Craggett, my old
running buddy. Yeah.
God Almighty, love him to death. He said, I raised that kid. He taught me a very valuable lesson in 1999 that back road speed limit is 20 miles an hour.
Highest.
There better be a fire if you're going over 20.
Well, if you're doing 20, you better be a fire.
Yeah. So she drives in that. And at one point, man, she was cussing people out. Bayless, the little baby, was raising hell crying, and Waylon was, take the passy, Bayless. And I was like literally about to jump out in traffic. I'd had enough of that trip.
This.
So
I'm ending it.
And it was cool. Like I said, even though he was doing everything he wanted to do, and like we walked through the line, and Lindsay said, "Man, we didn't get a picture with the baby."
Oh.
And so she tried to jump back in line. The manager's like, "No, ma'am, you can't go to the end of the line." She's like, "I literally just walked out of line." And I'm gonna tell you something. Lindsay
is a bulldog.
Lindsay Hamilton, she is a bulldog.
Yeah, she go back and get it.
Lindsay Hamilton hyphen Kennedy. Man, I've been on the wrong side of that argument for.
Oh, I have too.
10 years.
I'm not even gonna play around. I was on it one time. I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Yeah, you don't mess with her, brother.
Nope.
None of those Hamiltons, Schaffners, whatever they are, I'm scared the hell out of all of them.
Yeah, I love you, Lindsay.
But she, if I don't, no, never mind. But she was like, we literally just come out of this line, and then dude's like, I can't help it. And so Shaq notices it, and he motions her over.
Oh yeah, Shaq told you to come back.
Yeah, he done whatever he wanted, as he should have. It should be up to him.
What Shaq should be doing, right?
Exactly. This little doucher manager. Yeah. And he goes, but I ain't holding that baby. So it was cool. And another thing, I did primarily go for him, but we got to hang out with one of our best friends.
Oh, yeah? Who'd you say?
Jessica.
Oh, McDuffie?
Cox.
Yeah, Cox now.
I'll never call a girl by their married name. I'm the worst.
Well, I don't remember them. Jessica moved down there. She's in Douglasville now.
You don't remember Jessica that you're saying? She's
going
to love to hear that.
Yeah. So, I forget that she married... that she changed her last name when she got married. I'll always remember her as a McDuffie.
Yeah, Robbie's cooler than a fan.
Yeah,
man.
He is very cool. What'd y'all do while you was down there?
We went to a Braves game, which was my first Braves game ever. Because
first and last, both in the same one.
Man, it's just one of those deals. I've been to a major league game. We were in Tampa on vacation last year, and we went to a Rays game.
Yeah,
bought like cheap outfield tickets.
Yeah,
because nobody in Tampa, they've got better things to do.
Right.
Lindsay ended up. She called me. We were at the other end of the field doing something with Waylon and one of his little buddies, and she goes, "I just upgraded our seats from outfield to front row." Mm-hmm. I said, "Did you have to flash somebody, or what did you have to do for this?"
Right.
And she said, "No, I guess what they were trying to do is get their television to looking better."
Yeah. Well, Robbie's a really big fan of the Braves anyway, so you probably had pretty good seats anyway, though, didn't you?
Yeah. When I talked to Jessica, she said just buy some cheap tickets.
Yeah.
StubHub had them for like $6 that day. You know, so I invested a pretty strong $18 in a Braves game.
Right.
And they moved us over to the 755 club, which is sweet, you know. If you didn't have the kids with you, man, that'd have been a good time to have, you know.
Yeah.
And baseball, you know, me and you both. I mean, God,
I played baseball, but I just never was interested in it. I just couldn't watch it for sure.
I can't even watch. Everybody's like, I love watching the kids play t-ball. I don't even like watching kids play
Watch these kids bat. They're getting so much better.
No, I'd rather watch a Golden Girls marathon, man, watching baseball.
Right.
But, I mean, Robbie and Jessica are season ticket holders, and it's just always good catching up with them. And they've got kids. And
so they got a couple kids now, don't they?
Turner and Declan.
Yeah.
I call that kid Declan for like.
He did, and I heard it.
He called me out on it, but
I did call him out on it, but
it's good. We're at a point in our life where friends and
I mean, it's weird. We got from the point where somebody has a kid and you don't say, "Oh man, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
The point where you're excited for everybody.
Excited, yeah. I was one of the first of our group to have a baby, and we were all young and stuff, and
real young. But you know, I look back at it, you wasn't really that young whenever you had him, you know, because I see a lot of other people that have kids a lot younger than you do.
Yeah.
Or did. I did.
Yeah, and I'm lucky because I was immature enough at 22. And,
right.
You know, and you learn as you get older, and I'm just with the second one kind of more slowed down and humbled than I was at 22 for sure. 32 will humble the hell out of you.
Oh my God!
But
make you get out of bed slow too.
Yeah, I'm hurting right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, you know, we don't want to drag this out and get it too long, so I think it's probably a pretty good spot, isn't it? Oh, before we go. My little cousin, Wesley Davis, he dropped a new song on iTunes the other day. Yeah,
you've been talking about him recently. Let me listen to some of his stuff.
Yeah, let me, I'm gonna try to pull that up real quick. I've called him and talked to him. We're going to try to get him on pretty soon. Probably try to get him on next week if we can.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Just local talent, Macon County hitting iTunes.
Yeah. He grew up. And he's a local boy. I went to school in Red Bowling. We went from back. It seems like just no time ago. And I guess it wasn't. But anyway, he come over to my house, and me and him, I just had a bonfire going on outside, and he brought his guitar over, and he said, I got a little song going. I'd like to play it for you. What do you think about it? I said, oh, that's awesome. What is it? He said, just something I'm putting together, man. Just something, a little song that I've been writing. And now, here it is. It's probably 2 years later or whatever. And he just dropped it on iTunes this week.
That's awesome. Like we was talking about with anybody local that can make it is always a big, it's a cool thing. And you've talked to me about this guy for, probably a year now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to hear him. We're going to get him. He's playing the song live for us next week as the plan, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to play a little bit of it for you right now. And then next week we're going to play the whole thing for you. So I hope you enjoy this.
She's her own kind of fine. What up, Summer? Come on! No one ever told me a girl could look so good, dancing around in the moonlight on my hood. The way she flips her hair back, Southern maid and all that. She knows we're all looking at her, as a matter of fact. She's the life of the party. She gets it started with a smile and a twist, dancing around in the bar, a little heartbreak that every guy will miss. She's a little cool, drinking water, everybody's getting hot, a sweet late night kiss. Hey, watch this. She's her own kind of fine, not just a good time. She's a summertime hit.
All right, that was Wesley Davis. That's kind of cool, man. It sounds like something that can be on the radio, definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's the name of that song, "Summertime Hit." It's on iTunes. Went on there yesterday, so go out and get that.
It's a perfect time to hit the radio. That's summertime. It's perfect time, and so
I think he sounds really good too. So
we'll
definitely be on the lookout for him.
What Lucas, are you going to kind of wrap it up? Are you going to Polk South Festival tonight?
I don't know. You gonna go? Go for a little while?
I will go. We went last night.
You was in a dunk tank last night for a little while, wasn't you?
Yeah, and I thought I escaped. It was for something the Jackson County Youth Baseball team does.
Yeah.
And Waylon didn't play basketball this year, or baseball, 'cause we're doing AAU basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, man, I've escaped it, escaped the dunk tank, and I was leaving right after I left Mike Keith yesterday. They called and asked if I would volunteer to take somebody's spot that had backed out.
I wish you told me before you did it.
Well, I've seen you throw, and you could just spend $50.
I hit you around the face with the ball.
Yeah. Well, these kids kept coming up, and they'd spend their money, and none of them hit it. And I'm I just love kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, punch the button.
Yeah, hit the button, kid.
And it wasn't. The water felt okay. It was just the wind. It was
a little cool after you got wet.
Plus, I wish they'd give me some time to drop and do some push-ups before or something. I got my clothes sticking to me. We made fun of how fat I'm getting last week.
Yeah.
So
me and Big Daddy's about to hit this diet pretty hard.
Oh yeah, boy.
I'm about to get his macro straightened out, and we're going to be on this diet.
I hope so, man. I'm getting.
Yeah, we're probably going to talk about diet coming up here pretty soon. Diet and fitness, quite a bit more.
Yeah, we're going to hit that.
We're going to hit that, have that coming up. Got some people coming on to talk about that. Going to talk about music. Like I said, have Wesley coming on. Got a few surprise guests, hopefully calling into the show. And don't want to drop any names yet, but we got some some real exciting things happening for that.
Yeah, I can drop one that's going to I'm really working. If anybody knows, I've had some connections. I wouldn't say connections. I've been lucky enough to meet a couple people that I think maybe will work with us in the future if I can keep working on them. But one guest I'm excited to have is her name is Amber Harding.
Yeah, social media coordinator for the Titans.
Yeah, she's only been there. This is her second year, but she's done an awesome job. I mean, she really is just one of the best at what she does. Just she works her butt off.
Yeah,
doing the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and Snapchat for the Titans, and
maybe come give us a few pointers and sit on here and talk to us about the Titans a little bit.
She's cool as a fan, man. Like I said, she just. When I posted a picture of us podcasting the first week we kind of done it.
Yeah.
I put it on Instagram, and she said, dibs on being a guest. I thought that was cool because that's
awesome.
We met up with her at a pre-draft party a couple weeks ago, myself and Mackie, and I wanted to ask her that night, but I just didn't be like, man, we're not established. We hadn't got any of our stuff set up. She's probably not going to do it. Then when she said guest, I was like, I almost asked you the other night, and she said, well, I'll definitely do it. So that's cool to have someone in the Titans organization that's going to. Reach out to me and want to do our show. So we're gonna, as soon as we figure out this call-in thing.
Yeah, we're
really excited.
Got some parts coming in. We'll figure that out pretty soon. I think I've got my finger on it already.
Yeah, Lucas is definitely, like I said, Lucas is the looks, mind, and everything.
I'm the mind and the big head, but other than the looks, that's somebody else's department.
Well, it ain't mine.
I might hire somebody's face to be in front of mine from now on.
So we're excited about future guests. And like I said, I'd had some conversations yesterday, and I don't want to put any names out there because you never know what might happen and what might not happen and what'll fall through. So just stick with us. We do have some things. I know, and even a lot of our local buddies had already volunteered to. Blake Allen already said,
"Yeah, come on in, guys." We'll.
He was one of the first person to mention. He's like, I listened to the first One Lane Road podcast, and wanted to know when my expertise will be known. And his buddy Rinks had chimed in, and I'd imagine we get James on here because James has never been wrong a day in his life. James Hatcher.
Oh yeah,
I think he'll be fun just to call in and mess with.
He will be.
He'll come sit in. Curtis Rich. He's like, you're doing a podcast, really? And Curtis likes to bust my balls about things, and so I figured he was being negative about it, but he actually said he thought it was a cool idea. And Thad Johnson, a friend of mine, Brandon Gregory, Brandon, all these guys that shouted us out the first week.
I don't know if we can bring Gregory in or not.
Why is that?
He's just too pretty. I can't.
He's not as pretty as Matt Tuck.
Well, no, but
I like to see them in a beauty contest. Well, they're pretty guys.
I don't know if I can get either one of them in here. My wife, if my wife leaves, maybe.
Yeah, they're awesome guys.
Awesome guys. And, love you guys.
I really appreciate everybody that's hollered at us. And
thanks so much. Thanks for following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Follow us on everything you can. Download that podcast if you can.
Yes, I know I'm wearing you guys out on social media, but this is something that I don't want to half-ass do.
Yeah,
if we want to put our name on it, I want you to.
Want it to be something you guys are proud of. Want it to be something you guys follow, and want it to be something that makes you guys proud.
Yeah. So we encourage you. Like I said, Instagram, OLR Podcast, Twitter at OLR Podcast. Just anything. Put your name out there. Anytime you guys listen to it, put your opinion out there. I don't care if it's negative.
Yeah,
it's something we can work on. We're really, really interested in input right now.
Yeah,
so
any kind of input's good input. So
whether
even
you're on
if it's out there for everybody to see, if it's just for us to see, if you think we did something wrong, shoot it to one of us or put it on Be on social media too.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you on Facebook and Twitter. Anything you can say is not going to be the worst thing that's ever been said about me
Either one of
or
us.
him.
Yeah.
So again, that was week 2. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys again next week. Thank you.
Come back and see us.